Nobody can thwart this decision.
Former governor of Imo State, Rochas Okorocha, could not have envisaged his day would turn out this way. To become embroiled in police matters over his alleged involvement and forceful entry into a property that was confiscated by the Imo State government a few days ago. The property in question is linked to the wife of the former governor, Nkechi Okorocha.
No! Bring it up! Bring it up!
You know that? I'm the one. I tell Fred. You know. No, you know now. You know. You're 53. I'm 56. I'm 50.
Whatever you're doing.
I'm the one that can you. I can your way. I can your way. I tell Fred. You know.
Stop that nonsense.
Who are you? Who are you?
This altercation with the special advisor to the present governor, Chinasanwa Neri, is said to be the calmer side of the event that took place before the arrival of the police to calm the situation, which was threatening to boil over with some vehicles damaged and an aide to the former governor sustaining injuries.
Okay, well, it's time for us to take on the issues for the morning, and definitely it is quite a lot on the plate, guys. I mean, it is heart churning to see this kind of thing. That's a former governor, for God's sake, and a serving senator.
So different sides to that story, right?
That's your is too long.
You know, it's. I mean, we'll get to. We've already seen. Good morning, guys. I haven't seen how this whole thing is playing out. I know they reference a lot about the points or the positions of the law.
Yeah.
Who did what? What side of the law are people in this case? Because who knows? But I guess it's a matter of time. And as a matter of fact, we've got the Imo State Police Command, first public relations officer in the state, Mr. Orlando Ikoko, joining us this morning to just shed some light on that, which you've seen, what could have transpired, what's the backstory. Good morning, Mr. Ikoko. Thank you for joining us today on the program. Well, that actually did raise a lot of concern concerning what is going on. So if you could go ahead and give us what actually happened. I think you could unmute yourself, because at the moment, I think it's on mute.
Okay.
All right, go ahead. We can hear you now. Yes.
Okay. The command received a distress call that there was a kind of unrest somewhere around Akachi, precisely the Royal Spring Palm apartment that was earlier sealed by the state government, I think a day earlier or a day or two. So the Commissioner of Police directed that operatives of the command should move into that place to ensure that normalcy returned to that area. On getting to that place, the operatives met a large number of people, some of whom were supporters of the former governor, Senator Rochas Okorocha, and then some other from that are agents of the state government. And also, we also met on ground some youths that said they are concerned over the youths. All of them were on ground, and you looking around, you can see pieces of broken bottles and sticks and all that. So, and it was a very, very tense situation. So the command had to ensure that normalcy returned, and then we took distinguished Senator Rochas Okorocha out of the premises for two reasons. One, we had to remove him for his personal safety because the place was tense, and we don't want anything to happen to him at that point. And then the state government had already lodged complaint while all those were going on that.
Yeah, go ahead. We can hear you. Okay, so all right.
That is the particular premises, the particular Royal Spring Palm Hotel apartments that was sealed by the state government. So that was the issue. So we had to invite him to come and say what he knows about that. That was just it.
Well, it will be interesting to find out from you what exactly because how would you respond then to what the senator himself said, that he's been arrested on partly for a reason of public disorder? Can you confirm that that is correct or not?
You said?
Well, the senator said that he has been arrested partly because of public disorder, that he was causing public disorder.
Well, the only thing I can tell you now, that at the time I left the headquarters yesterday is that as at that yesterday, what he was questioned about was the forceful and violent breaking and entry into that premises. So if there is any other complaint that is coming up, I have not been able to ascertain because I'm just getting to the office now.
He has also alleged that it is on the orders of the Imo State government. Is that correct? Can you confirm that as well?
Well, that's not correct. That's not correct. But I can tell you the state government has lodged a complaint in that instance. And he also has made some complaints also, which we also are looking into, because he said that agents of government came in with thugs, and in fact they actually mentioned names of whom I don't have the names offhand right now. They mentioned names, and we are trying to follow up to know the authenticity of those things that he said. We are not basing our own, because we also believe that it's possible, because when you get to that place, you can see the vehicles that he went there with broken. So we want to find out who actually did all those things. So part of the things we're also investigating was those that actually did those things, that actually assaulted him. So we are not working on the orders of the state government, but rather we are trying to ensure that, one, normalcy returns. Two, ensure that he's safe, because if we had not gone there to remove him, nobody knows what would have happened to him by now. And then thirdly, also find out what actually transpired as regards the premises that were earlier sealed.
So was he removed? Was he taken? Was he arrested? Because what's been reported is that the former governor was arrested by your men. So can you just clear the air on that?
We had to remove him first. Immediately removing him, we now invited him to come to state headquarters for...
Okay, I lost that last part. He was invited to the state headquarters for what? Are you there?
Come again.
Okay, please go ahead. I lost the ending of your statement. You said he was invited to the state headquarters for...
Yes. So that he can come and state his own part side of the story. Because already there is an alleged... The state government, the agents of government has alleged that he forcefully and violently broke into a sealed government premises. So we want to know the reason behind it, how he got in there, if he actually broke into it, or maybe he saw it open or whatever. So we invited him to come and tell us his own part of the story.
Okay, well, a couple of issues stick out there, but quickly, I want you to also maybe confirm or otherwise. There are reports, take for example, the front page of Daily Trust saying 2 killed during that process. What exactly transpired? How many casualties were there?
That's absolutely untrue. That's absolutely untrue. I don't have that report anywhere.
Okay, so what report do you have? How many casualties?
I have not seen any. But the only thing I saw on social media was somebody that was taken to hospital that has a little injury on his, I think that was his left leg. I didn't see the person's face, but the social media report was saying that is as a result of the violence that erupted at Royal Spring Farms. So I don't know on whose side the person is. But casualty, I really don't. I don't have any such report, and or otherwise. I don't. What I know is there was a little crisis. There was violence, but no life was lost.
Well, was there any gunshots? Because some images too, there were reports that indicated that some persons had sustained head injuries and there was blood stain on his cloth as well. Did you get that report?
Yes, yes. I also say on social media, somebody with head injury. Yes, I saw it on social media, but the person hasn't come forward yet to make an official complaint. And then in some videos we heard gunshots, and I can tell you that the Commissioner of Police has ordered an investigation into that as well, because we are trying to look at the video and analyze it very well. Our professionals will look at it and know if it is doctored or not, and then find out who actually fired. It might interest you to know that we also recovered a pump action rifle yesterday. A pump action rifle was recovered from from a civilian that also came there for all these issues. So we're also looking at all that. We're not leaving our investigation. We're not narrowing down to issues that have to do with breaking into that particular place. We're also looking at every other thing that is criminal, every other crime that must have committed at that premises or within that area at that point in time.
Part of what he also said was that government house security detail were some of the people involved. Are you investigating their level of involvement, if they were responsible for any gunshots?
Absolutely. If any of them is responsible, or if any of them was there and conducted himself in a manner that is viewed to be unethical and unprofessional, definitely he will not. The command will not just look at him like that. He will be disciplined in accordance to the Police Act and regulation, and if need be, charged to court for whatever he must have committed.
I mean, in that video which you referenced, and I'm sure your men were there, so I mean, you can always use, the account of your men. We saw other people that were not security officials right there at that place. And it would seem as though they were also there to carry out the arrest. So what do you make of that, really? Do your men carry out these operations with maybe government officials or political actors?
Well, I cannot ascertain now what the men went, because the men you're talking about. Now, the place was sealed off, and operations in that hotel stopped. The police has a mandate to protect lives and property. So the policemen were posted to protect that facility since there is no other operation and there is nobody in that place. Because if you don't do that, you have given a green card to robbers, looters, vandalists, and all the world you can think of. So we don't know. That is why I say we are going to analyze the video. We don't know the level of involvement, if they shot, if they committed any infraction in regarding to the crisis that we saw yesterday. So those are the things we are looking after. But I can tell you that even the premises itself was being guarded by police officers after being sealed up.
So you said he was invited for questioning. Did that eventually lead to an arrest?
You said?
Did it eventually lead to an arrest? Pardon me if I missed out that part.
I think he was released. He was released later at night.
Okay, so he didn't spend the night in police custody?
No.
Is he going to be charged to court?
That I have not been able to ascertain yet. I just got to the office now. You're the first. What I'm doing now is my first assignment for the day.
So are those kind of issues the type that can be charged to court by the police?
Why? If anybody is found wanting or anybody is found culpable, definitely the person will be charged to court. Well, so if investigation proves that he has done something, he has committed an offense, he will definitely be charged to court.
Well, Mr. Koku, you said the other time that you're also investigating other issues around what happened yesterday. That suggests that perhaps, there may have been some security threats, ahead of that incident. Was there such an assessment of the police that, okay, maybe this kind of thing could happen to stem the tide before it happens so as to prevent the loss of such property?
No. we never thought that way. What we were thinking was if anybody could react, we were expecting that such person could go to court. We never expected that some people would come and break into the place. So that's why we're trying to find out who actually did. So we had expected that the issue be tackled in a more civilized and matured fashion and going to court rather than causing what we saw yesterday.
Well, you have spoken a lot about, what has happened and what is likely to happen. But then there are some things that I would like to get a little clearer. What are the likely scenarios at play here? The principal actors are the Imo State government and, the distinguished Senator Rochas Okorocha. What are the likely scenarios following the investigation? What are the likely outcomes and likely scenarios that the police is likely to play?
Well, like I said before, I can't say more than that. If anybody is found culpable in the commission of any crime during what happened? Hello?
Please go ahead.
Hello?
Please go ahead. We can hear you.
Hello?
We can hear you. Please
Hello?
Go ahead, Mr. Ekoko.
Yeah, I said that person will be charged to court if anybody is found culpable.
Okay, well, I mean, we're seeing what exactly played out yesterday. And we see men that are not policemen, in fact, a man in particular, who seems to be assisting in carrying out that arrest. So I really hope you factor this also into your investigations, because when arrests are made, we expect that it will be done by policemen, people who are charged with that responsibility constitutionally. But also, I mean, listening to the aide of the former governor, you'll hear talks about this is political vendetta and a witch hunt ahead of 2023 presidential election, other talks. But basically, people are looking at a political angle to this. And I know that the police is walking a very tightrope. It's a delicate situation for you. So how are you proceeding with this such that people don't see this as a political witch hunt, vendetta? Because it's clear this is a former governor against the government, a sitting governor. So how are you really approaching this such that it doesn't fall either way, that you stick to the law?
Hello?
Mr. Ikeyoko,
Hello?
I can hear you, but I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, please, if you got the question, please go ahead.
Hello? Well, like I said earlier, we are looking at the video and we will analyze it, and whoever that is found wanting will be brought to book. So that has to do with everybody involved, provided the video, what we saw in the video is authenticated by after the analysis, and then we see things and for ourselves and things that we view to be crime that must have been committed. So we take it in that instance. But talking about the issue that has to do with politics, police is apolitical. We just watch. We don't. That is not our business. All we know is do your thing without committing any crime. Where your right stops is where other person's own starts. So while you're doing your own, ensure you don't infringe on someone else's rights. That way, you don't have problem with the police. But when you begin to do things that is abnormal, things that is criminal, that is against the laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, definitely the police must come in.
Well, there are those who are concerned, hoping that this doesn't degenerate into any political killings in the state. Is the police allaying the fears of such people?
We don't leave any stone unturned. We also think we prepare for such cases as well. So we don't just believe that everything will be good all the time. So that is why in most cases we try to be proactive, and by the grace of God we are doing all that, and we want to believe by the grace of God, we will be able to control whatever that is going to come out. And we are praying fervently to God, not to, and we are believing by the grace of God, it's not going to degenerate.
All right, so well, at least they would have heard that you're doing what you can to ensure that it does not degenerate into any such thing as, further political attacks. But we'll keep tabs with you and hoping that all remains well in the state. But thank you very much indeed for your time this morning.
Thank you. We appreciate. We appreciate. We are asking everybody to remain calm as we will do everything possible to assure that justice is done. We will come out after the investigation. The whole world will know what actually transpired and what we're doing. Thank you.
All right, then. So there you go. It was quite a tense period, all those who were seeing it. But clearly you did hear that the senator was released because there were those who thought that, well, if it was that late and it was an arrest, then what happens? Because he couldn't have gone back to Abuja at that time because, I mean, you know how airports can be in this country, landing lights that late in some other areas. So, but yes, it was invitation, then it was made that statement, and then who knows what will happen this morning, because we did also ask him if he was going to be charged to court. Is this the kind of matter that you can take to court? So, in this part of the world, just expect the unexpected.
I think at the end of the day, there are issues there that have not even played out at the event, but they were, it's like you want to treat a disease and you're only looking at the symptoms. It looks a little more like a symptom of larger issues, given the kind of conversations that has been going on between the government in power and the person who headed the previous government before this one. So one is wondering how this is all going to play out. At the end of the day, the cannon foders are a set of people that I fear for, the young people and the people in the environment and the states, who will, one way or the other, because they say when two elephants are fighting, it's the grass that suffers. How significant that is going to be on, how significant that will impact on the people, I guess we'll wait to see.
I mean, and not to forget that who are you that transpired. I mean, I need to point out the fact that it seemed as though someone was trying to get back at someone else, seeing what transpired. And I don't appreciate the fact that an operation meant to be handled by the police, I mean, you find someone there seeming to want to use that opportunity to get back at someone. Now, I mean, it's politics. You understand that these things happen. You won't be surprised to see the same people hugging themselves tomorrow. So that happens. But I'm saying when it comes to the core responsibility of police, you should not see, I mean, you see what happens in other crimes. You're not even meant to get close to where police men, women are making arrests. So I don't appreciate that we still have that happening. So it would seem as though there's some form of interference in the work of the police. I expected the men to say, please, can you step aside and let us do our job? Or are you a policeman?
Know who. There were those who were hooded. Yeah. So are they supposed to go into that kind of scenario hooded? So why are they hooded?
It points to, I mean, the fears of...
Again, let's just hope, as Mr. Okoko said, that, significant investigation will be carried out, because he said that they got a distress call. It's not that they anticipated that someone is going to try to go into a sealed place to unseal it and take over himself. So perhaps it was because someone went there, and then the people on the side of government, perhaps, saying that there are 2 essays mentioned in the reports, in social media. 2 essays of the governor were there. It means that the government themselves wanted to enforce or prevent a breach of the sealing of that property that has been done. So the police weren't there before the distress call was made to the police, who now went there after that to get all of that done. So there was fracas, and then the police intervened and all of that. But it puts a huge responsibility on the state government, because irrespective of whatever happens, at the end of the day, people are going to be saying it's a government in Imo State. And that kind of thing should never happen, irrespective of what the political...
People should never break the law, or what?
That kind of thing, it shouldn't happen. really it shouldn't happen.
Well,
Look,
that's why the police got in, because
exactly.
they thought someone broke an official government-sealed place.
Exactly.
So, and if you do that, they say that's a crime.
There's a lot at play here, and I'm just wondering what exactly is the game plan. The senator is a former governor. I mean, put yourself in the shoe of the governor.
Are former governors above the law?
Oh, absolutely.
No. My point here is, you are a former governor.
Yeah.
As a former governor, if you sealed a facility and someone went there to unseal it, how would you feel?
Well, I think it's a matter of the law. The law is the law. If anyone breaks any government seal, the law will have to kick in. And, I mean, we see that DPRC said anything. People just say, what is the meaning of this? So you may take it for granted in some areas, but you never can tell.
Oh,
I hope the young people will not get themselves used as cannon fodder in this kind of matter, because those who sustain those injuries, you know, they will be the young people. We're hoping that they'll be smart enough to know how to navigate. We'll come back to some of these matters, and we'll have a security expert in the house to shed some light on what you've just seen and a lot more in a moment. Don't go away.